Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
All right, guys, welcome in on a very happy, Monday. Yes, I believe it is, in fact, Monday, a $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. And we still have much to be decided in the association. Round one of the playoffs, they continue to move on. No sweeps, at least not this round anyway. But 3 games tonight, we're going to see who's going to gain those edges, and maybe, just maybe, the Sixers can finally close out the Toronto Raptors. And here to help us sift through it all, 3 of the best on a Monday here, as Andy Lang in the house, Tony Finn here, Rob Vino, ready to rock and roll here in the association. So, Andy, welcome in, man. A very happy Monday to you, brother. Talk to me. What do you got going for us on a $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com?
Well, it's become a tradition. 5% NBA play for only $9. I just out of curiosity, I was like, I feel like I've done good on Mondays. I went and looked, and for whatever reason, we're on a 7-0 run on Mondays. So I don't know why. It makes no sense, really. Like, why would you be good on one day of the week, and not specifically the others? But 5% play is up. Not gonna lie, a little bit of a rough weekend. We missed play of the day yesterday, missed it on Friday, hit it on Saturday. So looking for a really, really good Monday. Love the play of the day, and got some really, really good games. Looking really forward to this Nets and Celtics games in particular. That's the one I got roped off that I will be watching every minute of. So very excited to have a great Monday.
All right, exciting stuff there. And Tony Finn knows a little something about cashing tickets here. Absolutely been on fire, the man. They had to call 911 on him this weekend. It was that hot, man. Flames from the sides of his face. What is going on, Tony Finn? $9 Monday. How do we get involved with you?
Well, first off, they didn't show up because I was hot with my place. They showed up because it was a hit and run in my neighborhood. But all's good. I'm innocent of that. These are going pretty well. 9-2 NBA last 11, 17 and 4, I believe. MLB, NBA combined over the last week. So yeah, now I have one. Actually, I have an NBA up ahead of time. You can get for 9. It's on Wednesday night. And tonight there's one NBA that was just getting punched in as you rudely interrupted me and asked me how I was doing. So let's pick some winners.
Oh, well, let's do it. Nothing out of the norm for you there, or Rob Vino for that matter. Mr. Vino, on a $9 Monday, I know you got to be locked and loaded here tonight. It's a smaller MLB card, but got 3 quality games here tonight in the association. What do you got for us?
Yeah, and I locked and loaded those last night, Joe. We don't really have to worry too much in the NBA anymore about those last-second injury reports, so it's a little easier to come in early with stuff. For today, $9 Monday, I have 3 plays up and available from NBA playoff action. 2 are best bets, and I also have a 5% that goes on Tuesday up there now, $9 Monday, so you can get it early. Just because the Tuesday card saw one that stuck out. So a lot of big action up there, Joe. Like I say, got in early with no fear of, hopefully nothing happens, but we got in early because we don't have to wait around so long anymore. Yesterday was a good day, 6-2-1. The one push Golden State Denver first half over 115, hit 115 as Steph Curry just continued to miss free throws on me. I'm like, Steph, give me one, buddy. It's all I need. Couldn't get it. We'll take the push.
They missed more than free throws in that first half, that's for sure. It was ugly as ass. All right, guys, $9 Monday, best bets. All three of these gentlemen, $9 at Wager Talk. Now let's dive into game number one here tonight. And boy, oh boy, on the brink of elimination, huh? Celtics are up 3-0 on the Brooklyn Nets. Why? Well, the fact that Kevin Durant can't stop turning the ball over, and Kyrie, I think, has scored 25 or 26 points total in his last two games, which is a problem, but doesn't stop the betting market from looking at Brooklyn and opening up as a 2.5-point favorite here. I'm seeing 1.5s now as the Boston money comes rolling in. The total, not a whole lot of movement from the open at 220.5, kind of still hovering around that number. So when push comes to shove, backs against the wall, and breaking news, Ben Simmons will not play in this game tonight. Not sure if you knew that, Andy. I know you were lining up his props there, but nope, he's not going tonight. How are you looking at this game from a prop betting perspective?
Oh, I guess I can shred all those Ben Simmons over tickets. Gosh, dang it! Darn it! I hate that. So, so I'm going to take a very hard stance on this game. I like Boston to close it out. I'm really not sure why Brooklyn is favored. They haven't done anything to really show me that they're ready to win, let alone cover 2.5 points. So when you have a hard opinion like this, I think there's a couple things that you can do with it. So first off, I'm just going right all in on Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant under their points. So you already mentioned it. Kyrie Irving, game one, he goes for 39. Boston makes the adjustments. Then he goes for 10 and 16. He has not made a three-pointer the last two games. He's shooting 32% from the field, and he only has 6 free throw attempts the last 2 games. So they got his point total at 26.5 points. I just don't see a huge effort. I think the first quarter is so important. If they get down, I think this could be a throw in the towel type of game. And then Kevin Durant under 28.5 points. He hasn't gone over this total in any of the games this series. Tatum has done such an incredible job of making life difficult for Durant, and maybe some of those big time minutes that Durant had to endure in the regular season are just starting to show up. He can only do so much. And then when you're taking a hard stance on a game like this, I would like to point out, I talked about this on an article I wrote for WagerTalk.com. This is a great way to use a same game parlays. So, for example, if you think Boston is going to win, you can throw a plus money. You can start your parlay with a plus money line on Boston, and then you can take like Marcus Smart 10 plus points, Jason Tatum 25 plus points, and you're getting almost 3-1 on that. So if you think you got a good read on a team like I do tonight, like I have a pretty good expectation what's going to happen. You can really do some damage with same game parlay. But as far as individual props, give me Kyrie and Durant under their point totals.
All right, kind of love where you're going with that, Andy. Definitely a profitable way to approach it. Tony Finn, if you were a betting man, what are you betting here tonight? Side, total, halves, props? How you going with this game?
Yeah, I'm in with Andy on his assessment. I think it's spot on. I've been fortunate enough that this is that I have played Boston. Fortunate is probably not the right word, but I've played Boston every single game so far. The last one being like Andy said too, as far as being an underdog of 3 or more, I found strange. The metrics don't support that. If you look at cleaningtheglass.com, any of the nets, any of the NBA portals on the internet wouldn't have supported that. They really don't support the line tonight. Sure, they made an adjustment because Kyrie is able to play at home, et cetera, but what Boston's done to Kevin Durant, basically, blitzing him every time he gets the ball. And the thing is that Boston's not even running guys, Durant and Kyrie off screens. It's almost an isolation offense, which makes it pretty darn easy for Boston to blitz him, to double team him, to lay off somebody that essentially have two guys in his face, body him up, being physical with him every time he touches the ball. The turnovers are bad. The Durant's 22 points a game, 39% from the floor, 6 turnovers almost per. And while they're doubling Durant, Kyrie Irving can't even score. 26 total points the last 2 games. Boston +1. I'm all in.
He's all in on it there.
Yeah.
All right, all in on Boston. Thinks it ends here tonight for the Nets. And Rob Vino, I know you're a betting man here. So are you looking at the first half? Are you looking at full game? Points, no points? Oddly enough, that total hasn't moved an awful lot here, Vino. What's going on?
This show is 8 minutes old, and my head is already filled with bad thoughts. I mean, thanks to Andy Lang for advising us all that if you have a hard opinion, there's a couple of things you can do with it. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And
you're welcome, everyone. You're welcome.
The gift that keeps giving.
The fact that you start the show by using the word flame and Tony Finn in the same sentence has me looking for some more fairy dust. Can we sprinkle a little on? My goodness. Listen, this series is 3-0. And, statistically, Joe, when you look at it, how about this? Brooklyn has shot the ball better from the field than Boston. Brooklyn has shot better from 3 than Boston. Brooklyn has attempted more free throws than Boston. They're ahead in a lot of these statistical categories, yet they're behind 3-0 in this series, which probably led Steve Nash to say it's not as bad as it looks. Game 1, obviously, was a last-second layup by Jason Tatum. We could be in a different position here. But for this particular series, we saw 2 teams down 3-0 this past weekend show some fight on their home floor, right? Toronto comes back and at least extends it to a 5th game. Denver came back. At least they extend it to a 5th game. And, you hear a lot about it today, but the lead official in this game is Scott Foster. And Scott Foster just happened to be the lead official in Toronto on Saturday when Toronto found their way into Game 5 with a 35-25 free throw advantage. So you never can count out these referees. We'll talk about another one in a couple of minutes. If you look at the total in this game, and here's where I'm going to go here, Joe, because believe it or not, the teams in this particular series through 3 games combined have shot 51.8% from the field. Really good number for 2 teams combined, and it's second out of all 8 playoff series so far. The only series shooting better than this is Golden State Denver, and they're at 52-1, so not much better. They put the ball in the net. There haven't been a ton of opportunities. I think that's what's held a couple of these games down. But again, I might take the opposite stance here on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I mean, really, Kevin Durant, 19 of 52 for an entire series. There's not going to be one breakout game for him. I find that hard to believe. Kyrie Irving, last 2 games, 10 of 30 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3, 26 total points. Something's got to give here. I'm going to look at first half total. 6 of the 7 games these teams have played at halftime have had 111 or more. And tonight we're looking at a 107. The only game that didn't hit 111 or more was the most recent one, which I think was 53-50 at halftime on Saturday night. But I think that changes here. I think Brooklyn makes some more shots. I mean, might as well let all the bullets go in this game right here. So I'm going to try first half over 107 is my read on this game.
We have seen a couple of home teams already, I believe, here in the first round. At home, backs against the wall, have to win, facing elimination, and the other 2 did pretty well. So we'll see if Brooklyn can make it 3-0 in this spot here tonight when they take on the Celtics. Also facing elimination, only this time on the road, would be the Toronto Raptors taking on them Sixers here. It opened up at 8, popped down to 7.5 for a little while, back to 8. The total right around that 210 mark, and I don't think it's gone anything really more than that. It was being pushed up 211. All right, so we see a 211s now in the marketplace. So maybe some money coming in on the over. Fred VanVleet, yes, no, maybe so. Will it really even matter? Who are you looking at, Andy, from a prop betting perspective in this one?
Well, more bad officiating news for Philly. It looks like Angel Hernandez will be officiating tonight's game. So, boy.
Oh. Strike three. Kyle Schwarber's front row in the game.
Yeah, Hernandez is in town. Might as well run with him. So, my best bet for the show is in this game, so I'll save that for the end. But there's one other that I like, and yes, we've got some astute people in our chat room who've already suggested this one. Joel Embiid under 28.5 points. 21 points last game. He had 33 points the game before. That was overtime, and 5 of those points came in overtime. So he only had 20 in that. The thumb looks like it's really compromised him. They've gotten some good contributions from some other guys. I feel like the books have given us a number at 28.5 that is not really indicative of how bad Embiid looked with his thumb, I guess, just kind of to the eye test. So I feel like this number is a little bit inflated, but that's going to be one that I'll definitely be on tonight. Joel Embiid under his points.
All right, looking at Embiid, a little under here with that thumb of his there, Tony Finn. What do you think? You think Toronto, they can't shoot much worse than they've been shooting, but do they have enough firepower to win this one and send it back to Toronto?
Well, if they play and defend like they did north of the border, then yes, they do. The caveat here is Thibault. It's to a degree. He doesn't play in the 2 games in Toronto because of his vaccination status. But, let's limit it to the last 2 games. Let's just say if VanVleet does go tonight, guys, it'll actually be the healthiest Toronto's been for this entire series. And their last 2 games have been pretty good defensively. They've held Philly to just under 107 points per 100 possessions. That's about 89, right in that area per 100 plays in transition too. So that's darn good. Maxey averaged just 15 points per game up there north of the border on 40% shooting. Pretty good. Some of the stats in this game are much like Rob outlined for the Boston and the Brooklyn series. Some of them don't make sense. They don't make sense. In fact, if you just surface, he's right. You look at it, Brooklyn shot over 50% at home in their last game. A loss. But when Durant's one shooting the ball and he's shooting 39%, tough to win against a team like Boston. In this game, it's much the same. How much does Toronto, want to play? How hard do they want to play? Is VanVleet going to play? Is Barnes, after missing some time and getting back on the court, is he a little bit, rough around the edges? Happens to you guys sometimes. The first game back, they go all out, they play hard, and they haven't played in a week, and they're a little bit rough, a little bit sore. But all things equal, guys, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, VanVleet, they can have top flight games. But winning and covering a number of different things, take Philly to win this game. I like Philly to win this game regardless. But I'm not in this game, not in this room, and not laying the points.
Seemed like an awful lot, Rob, when that number came out, 8. It wasn't that at all on the first 2 games there at Philly. But Scotty Barnes is back in. If VanVleet can go, at least they'll have everybody. Now the question is, do we trust them enough to be able to go to Philadelphia and get this back to Toronto? I got to believe we're correlating this. If we like Philly, we got to like the over, right? If we like Toronto, we got to like the under here, Rob, or some combination like that.
Yeah, well, where Toronto's concerned, in all likelihood, there is no Fred VanVleet tonight because of the hip injury. I think he's already been reported as out, but I don't know that it's a huge hindrance, Joe, because if you go through his stat lines for the first 4 games, and he had a nice game 1, 7 of 12. And then it's been a decline ever since then. Games 2 through 4, right up until the point where he left. I think he played about 14 and change minutes-wise in that most recent game. But in those 3 games, he's 12 of 42, only 28.6% from the floor. That's not helping anybody. And he's 8 of 29, 27.6% from 3. So Fred VanVleet actually may not have been doing the team much good because he's playing so banged up. The fact that they got Scotty Barnes back helps tremendously. He goes 25 and a half minutes on Saturday. The good news with the playoffs is that you do get a day of rest in between everything, so he doesn't have to go back to back here. I think he helps out defensively quite a bit. Tony brought up the point of Matisse Thybulle. Obviously, that's a well-taken point because he's going to have fresh legs, be back on the defensive end, and maybe for some fast break stuff. But the Embiid thumb issue, especially against this defense, we've talked about it before. Joel has talked about it before, and they just play a different style of defense against this guy, which keeps his numbers down. He says he hates playing these guys. They single cover. He gets the ball. They drop 2 little guys down, and they just slap. And if you don't think they're going to be slapping at his thumb tonight, then you're crazy. I mean, they're going to go after him. All's fair in the playoffs, right? So we'll see if Joel can make it through. The good news for him, and Tony started to point this out, I'll piggyback on and add to it here. Harris and Maxey, Tobias and Tyrese here. 2 games at home, 107 points combined. The 2 games on the road, 56. That's almost 50% shaved off of their point production. Back at home tonight, they'll likely be better. We often talk about secondary or role players not performing as well on the road as they do at home. But here at home, I think that somebody's going to have to pick up Joel because I don't know if he can be himself, A, against this defense, which he doesn't fare well against anyway, B, with the bad thumb. I'm sitting in the same spot Tony Finn is sitting in. I think Philly's going to win the game, but I don't want to lay 8 points with them because Toronto's got fight, and I don't think they're going down easy here, and I wouldn't expect Nick Nurse to go down easy here. Nick Nurse against Doc Rivers. I was talking with a colleague of ours, Jay Money, earlier, and he said the same thing. Nick Nurse against Doc Rivers. Doc doesn't have the best track record in these situations. So I think if I had to play the game, I think I'd be on +8 with Toronto.
Grabbing the points, Jay Money. Got to ask him, Rob. They ask him if they're still dancing in the streets of Atlanta. Ouch. All right, guys, let's go here. We do have we got one more game on tap here tonight, and boy, oh boy. The Utah Jazz and the market have a love affair. I have no idea why, but they do. Luka Doncic came back last game. It was not a great shooting game for Dallas at all. Utah figured out a way to scrap out a win there, 199, barely. But the interesting part of that game and line movement there, Andy Lang, was the fact that Utah kept getting the money even after Doncic was ruled in. So I don't know what people keep waiting to happen here with this Utah team, but I don't know. Now a game under his belt, Doncic, now he's back. He looked healthy. I don't know. Who are you looking at? Doncic in this? You looking at there's a lot of different ways to go. Our buddy Rudy Gobert finally showed up. Do you fade him still? What do you do here, Andy?
Got a couple guys I'm looking at. I'll just start with Jordan Clarkson over 14.5 points. Just the guy hasn't found a shot he doesn't like. I enjoy watching the Jazz because when Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson get that look in their eyes, you can just see the rest of the team like, oh, I'm not going to get this possession. Jordan's bringing the ball up. He made his last shot. No way I'm getting a touch. So why not take his over points here? He's had 21, 14, and 25 the last 3 games. I guess we just have to accept he's going to shoot it a lot. But I will say he's shooting efficiently. He's 60.4% from the field, 42% from threes, and 95% from the free throw line. Those are good numbers. So, when you're betting props, it doesn't matter that he's, pushing all of his teammates away. We're just trying to get this over point total. So I'll take him 14.5. And then The gift that keeps on giving, Jalen Brunson, over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's gone over every game this series, 36, 53, 38. And then the game Luka comes back, obviously you got concern. He still had 31. So he still got there with 23 points. So it did not affect his production too much. So in the prop world, we love that. Jalen Brunson over 27.5 and Clarkson over 14.5 points for me in this one.
Yeah, well, thank goodness for Clarkson because, they would have barely made it to 100 points without him. Talk to me here, Tony Finn. I don't get the fascination with Utah, but the market continues to say, yeah, they're expecting good things from them. Do you? You like Utah in this spot getting points?
I didn't. I think we did a show. I think my last show was Thursday or something last week. But in this game, I'd love to have talked about this game on this channel, on this program, because I think you spelled it out, or at least spit it out pretty good, Joe. And that is that what the hell's going on? I mean, the public, the market, they continue to back this Jazz team and fade. Listen, I put this game out early, and I was on Dallas last week. I said, listen, grab the 6 points right now, because if they announce Doncic is going to start or play and start, then the line's going to come back. It's going to come back a little bit. You know, there's going to be some buyback on this. And I said, they're also going to lie to you. And I basically called Jason Kidd everything but a serial killer. I said, he's lying to you. He's lying when he says that the Doncic is going to be limited. He's not going to be limited. He's going to be there till the bitter end. The bitter end. And he was till the bitter end, and it was bitter. It was bitter, except for us who had Dallas at 6 points. But what's different tonight? Here we are again. I don't get it, guys. I don't. They got Dallas as a minus 2.5. Really, what I think it was minus 3.5, but back to 2.5. Now it's at 3. Dallas had 15 assists on 33 made shots on Saturday and still took it to the wire. They weren't very good. Doncic was rough and rusty, and you could see it in his play. Tonight, I expect him to be better. They're at home, and nothing different from Jazz. They're gonna be doing some hack of the big man in there, and hope he only makes one of the 2 free throws. And we're gonna be in the same situation. Give me Dallas. I mean, if you don't want to lay points in this, just play Dallas minus 145 on the money line, because that's the way to go. You're either on the money line, you're laying the points, or you're watching. That's it.
It's Rob. It was a little frustrating because everyone kept saying, "Well, you like Dallas? Hurry up and get it in, because if Doncic is going to go, boy, that line's going to go." But the other way, what is going on now? Again, it's a little strange to me here. Utah once again didn't cover. They barely got by in the game. But what do you think we're going to get here tonight in Dallas?
Yeah, I think I've come to the conclusion, Joe, that Dwayne Wade is max betting about 20 of his accounts on his own team. And that's what's pushing this up for Utah, because it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It really doesn't. Anybody who's watched this series, I think, if you know a little bit about basketball, you would say Dallas has been the better team. Again, I'm in agreement with a lot of the stuff that's been said here ahead of me. Luka came back. It looked like Brunson in the first half took a backseat to Luka, and it was a bad shooting first half. The whole offense looked a little in disarray in the first half. But in the third quarter, when they made their run and when they eventually took the lead with that spurt was with Luka on the bench and with Jalen Brunson leading the way, and the pace picked up again. So it would seem that at this point in time, Dallas has the option to play 2 different styles, one when Luka's on the floor, one when Luka's on the bench. And I don't think that when Luka's on the floor, it means Jalen Brunson can't be on the floor, because all we have to do is think back a couple of weeks. Dallas closed the season on a real hot run, and it's not like Luka was getting 40 every night and Jalen Brunson was getting 10. Jalen Brunson was getting his 20 plus right next to him almost every single night, so they definitely can coexist. I think it just the one game needed to be gotten out of the way, and still at that, Joe, they probably should have won on Saturday, right? I mean, the NBA comes back with their final 2-minute report and shows 3 instances where referees blew calls that favored Utah. Rudy Gobert, hostile act, wasn't called. The NBA says, that was a mistake. Donovan Mitchell gets a 3-point play and one on a play that the 2-minute report says, should have been called a charge. Dallas would have been +4 with the ball.
Yep.
So a lot of stuff went on there. They're at home in a situation now where they're whole, and Utah hasn't shown me anything. I think it's most noticeable with Utah in their 3-point shooting. One of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. They launch as many as anybody. They've gone from averaging a little over 14 makes a game, down to 9 in this series. And Dallas has made a conscious effort to take away the 3-point line and say, what else can you guys do aside from shoot threes? And the answer is it hasn't been much offensively. So I like Dallas defensively, individually, collectively. I'll say this about the referee in this game. James Capers is your lead official. James Capers has been involved in 5 playoff games this season, if we count the play-in game between Atlanta and Charlotte. All 5 games have gone under the total. James Capers had game 1 of this series in Dallas. 99-93, Utah wins that game. The first game Dallas played without Luka. James Capers had these 2 teams on March the 7th. A 111-103 win for Dallas. And I think the game 1 of this series, Dallas had a pretty decisive free throw advantage with James Capers at the whistle. It was the game where Dinwiddie shot 16 and only made like 10 of them. So I think you may get some calls back. A little bit of compensation for last game. And it seems like James Capers rewards aggressiveness. And boy, the guards for Dallas, Dinwiddie, Brunson, and Luka are the more aggressive of the bunch here. So I'm going to take Dallas. I make power ratings. I have power ratings. Mine show Dallas at home with Luka back should be 5.5. They came out as 3. I thought that was a little bit very short change. So value-wise, too, I like Dallas.
All right, liking Dallas to get it done. Love it. We've got 3 games here tonight, guys. 3 opportunities to place some wagers and cash a few tickets. Also gives you a great opportunity to head over to WagerTalk.com. $9 Monday. That's where we're at right now, which means their best bets tonight, $9. Head over there and grab those now. If you visit Andy's page, visit Tony Finn's page, who's been absolutely red hot, as well as Rob Vino coming off a nice 6-2 evening. There is money to be made tonight, guys, in the association. Make sure you visit them over at WagerTalk.com. All right, now it is time to talk some best bets here. A lot of different ways, Andy, to approach this tonight. Give us one that you like. Best bet, 60 seconds.
All right. Well, first off, shout out to Tony Finn on his amazing run. That's a big feat. This industry can be hard, so congratulations, Tony. That's really awesome. I'm gonna go with Scotty Barnes. I believe in him, and I think they have this rebound total way too low. His rebound total is 6.5, and it's only minus 120 on the sports books. So he had 10 in game 1. And then he comes off the bench and, somewhat limited minutes. Like Rob said, he played 25.5, but he had 11 rebounds. So we got Joel Embiid with a banged-up thumb. We know they're going to be going after the hand of Embiid. And I got a guy that has 10 rebounds in game 1, sits out, and then comes back and has 11 rebounds off the bench. He's going to get plenty of minutes tonight if his ankle holds up. I mean, what are you holding him back for? So this line seems really, really low. I would go with Barnes over 6.5 rebounds. 5% best bet is up for only $9 on WagerTalk.com. Let's have a good Monday.
All right, boom. Well done, Andy. Come on, Finn. Light us up here tonight. Let's keep it rolling. Where are you going for a best bet?
We're going to go to the game we just discussed, and that is we're going to go to American Airlines down in Dallas, and the Mavericks will be hosting Quinn Snyder, the long time, lifelong Dookie and the Dutch Pirate and his assistants. Snyder, he's a Dutch Pirate, right? I've been waiting for the patch thing because he's sure looking awful skinny, like he's been hanging out in Columbia, Missouri. But I digress. Back to the game. Here's the deal. Luka said, this playoff's all about championships. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to cheat, spit, and then steal, and hurt somebody if we have to win a championship. And it must be that way. They must have sold their soul to some degree because they won't guard Maxi Kleber. I mean, he's out there shooting knocking down stuff they wouldn't dare have shot, a month or two ago. 18% was that after the All-Star break, now hitting everything he throws up. If you're not on Dallas tonight, then you're not on the winning side, in my opinion. So go grab it.
All right, boom, like it. Go Dallas. What do you think, Vino? What do you got in store for us here? Best bets. What are you thinking tonight?
Yeah, I'll go back to what I said at the beginning, Joe. I think that first half total in Boston, Brooklyn is too low. And as we speak, this game has actually moved. What was once 107 is now 108. There's a couple of stray 107.5s out there, but I just can't see. Law of averages tell me that Durant and Kyrie are going to make more shots. The fact that this season series has been so productive in the first half with 6 out of 7 games hitting 111 or more. Boston doesn't seem to be able to be shut down offensively at all by this Nets team, so I expect them to get theirs. To me, you're asking for 54 aside to get you a push, 55-54 at halftime. To me, not too much to ask in this game. Brooklyn's going to come out firing the way you should when you're down 3-0 at home, and I think it'll lead to points in the first half. So give me over. What's now 108, I guess. We'll call it 108 at this point. First half, Boston versus the Nets.
Boom! Love it. All right, guys, there you go. A whole lot happening here tonight. Got a little MLB. And, of course, we've got 3 games in the association tonight. And to recap where these guys are looking, Andy Lang going Scotty Barnes. Expect him to get some boards here tonight. Over 6.5 rebounds in that one. While Tony Finn says he don't get Utah either. They'll love the fascination. So he's going to lay it with the Dallas Mavericks at home to get it done and take that 3-2 lead here. While Rob Vino says he ain't broke, don't fix it. He thinks we're going to get some points early on in this Celtics-Nets game. The first half over 108. And again, guys, $9 Monday, which means Rob Vino, Tony Finn, Andy Lang. They are locked and loaded at WagerTalk.com. Go grab their best bets now for just $9. That's $9. Andy's got a 5% best bet tonight. Tony Finn absolutely scorching here over the last couple of weeks, guys. And Rob Vino, they are all ready to go. No reason not to cash a ticket here tonight. Head over to WagerTalk.com for $9 Monday. And, of course, make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow as we continue through the association and the playoffs. More opportunities will certainly present themselves. And until then, on behalf of Andy Lang, Tony Finn, and Rob Vino, guys, best of luck with those plays tonight. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Good luck.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.